Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some fish that you can keep with your goldfish. So this mainly applies to fancy goldfish, but it will also apply to comet goldfish. Basically any goldfish, as long as you have a big enough aquarium. These are some great tank mates. So we're going to start off with the aquarium size, basically real quick. So you should have around, this is a very, very rough estimate, about 10 gallons per goldfish just for this to kind of work out. If you have a 5-gallon tank with 2 comet goldfish, you shouldn't be having any tank mates in there. Your tank's not big enough. You should upgrade your tank. But if you have a big enough tank, like this tank right here, this is a 36-gallon fish tank. It's a bit overstocked, as you can see. There are 4 goldfish in here, but it does have a canister filter on it, and I manage water changes. That's a whole nother video. But some tank mates that I would recommend you keeping with goldfish if you were kind of bored of just the big goldfish and you wanted something else, maybe smaller, or even something to eat the algae in the aquarium. These are going to be some fish and other things that can live with your goldfish. So we're going to start off number 1, which are types of snails. So snails, some snails can live with goldfish. As you can see, I have some nerite snails down here. There's some on the rocks. And these guys are great algae eaters, and they do okay with goldfish. The goldfish will occasionally pick at them and try to suck on their shells like goldfish do. But because these are snails, they obviously have the hard shell to protect them. So it's no issue for the snails. As long as the nerites are big enough to not fit the entire snail inside the goldfish's mouth, you are good to go. Another snail I'd recommend are mystery snails. They are a bit bigger of a snail, but they also do good with eating algae. I personally would recommend the nerites though, because they do good at the normal room temperature that goldfish have. They've always worked great for me, and they are great at eating algae. Another quick algae eater is a bristlenose or a rubber lip pleco. So these are 2 plecos that I've done with goldfish before. They get, a small, they don't get too big, they get around 4 to 6 inches, and they are okay in some of the temps that goldfish are in, but they don't want to be really below 72. So if your tank's really cold all the time, I would not recommend these fish, but if you have a big enough tank and you're having tons of brown algae problems, you can always try one of those 2 plecos. A lot of people say, oh, don't get a pleco with your goldfish, it'll eat the slime coat off. That's mainly the larger common plecos, but as long as you keep your rubber lip pleco or bristlenose pleco, as long as there's enough food for them, you should not be having this issue, and they should grow big enough to where your goldfish cannot eat them. A quick side note, if you're having issues with your pleco, trying to attack your goldfish, just make sure he has enough food. Give him algae wafers or some zucchini, stuff like that, to make sure he's fed enough. Now, if you want some fish tank mates for your goldfish, there are a few options for that. There are Rosy barbs, which look like this, and they get a little bit bigger. They get 4 inches, so not huge, but they're not small like some other fish. They are not. So before you guys comment that no, you can't keep Rosy barbs with goldfish, it has been done before, but it should be done with caution. I forgot to mention this part in the video. Generally, if you have a school of Rosy barbs, they will be peaceful with each other, but sometimes if you only have, 3 in there, they can get a little bit nippy on the longer goldfish's fins. So you might get one aggressive Rosy barb, and if that's an issue, you can always remove them from your goldfish tank. But in general, Rosy barbs have been kept with goldfish, and you should be fine. This just addresses the people in the comments saying it can't be done. Back to the video. Some barbs are aggressive, these guys are not aggressive, and they are okay with the low temp that goldfish are with. So if you wanted to do maybe a school of maybe 5 or 6 of these guys in a 55-gallon aquarium, say you have 3 goldfish and 5 of these, that could be a really nice aquarium. And then another fish, if you're keeping maybe smaller goldfish, small fancy goldfish kind of like this, there are the option of the white cloud mountain minnow. And here's a picture of those guys. They're sometimes even sold as feeder fish. They are pretty small little minnows, as you can see. They only get about 1.5 inches, 2 inches max. And they're just a small, cool water fish that if your goldfish are not too big, they will not be able to eat. As your goldfish do grow up, though, they may be eaten, but normally they are fast enough to escape goldfish. I would not keep them with comet goldfish, because comet goldfish will probably eat them. Fancy goldfish will try to chase the white clouds, but the white clouds will normally be faster. Once again, as long as you have a large enough aquarium. If you have a 40-gallon or under, I probably wouldn't recommend doing white clouds. But if you have a big enough tank with lots of hiding spots, white clouds can be a nice little schooling fish to add to your goldfish aquarium. Then the last fish, I guess you could call it, is some sort of loach. So loaches generally do good with goldfish. Here's a picture of a loach. You can usually purchase them for not that much money in a pet store, and they kind of look like eels. They're like bottom feeders that will burrow in the sand that you normally have in a goldfish aquarium. They won't really burrow in gravel though, so it's best suited if you have sand. they get around 6 inches, nothing crazy, depends on the type of loach you get, but they also do like the low temperature that goldfish like. So basically all the things I've showed you and talked to you about today will be fine in an aquarium without a heater. So that is going to be pretty much it for this video. Once again, my top 5 are going to be for fish, the white clouds, the rosy barbs, and the loach. And then for a cleanup crew, snails, larger ones, and plecos, bristlenose and rubber lips specifically. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.